What's the funniest joke you've ever heard?
Two nuns were riding their bikes to church. One says I've never come this way before. The other says it's the cobblestones.
Two nuns are driving a tiny car through Transylvania at night. Suddenly a vampire lands on their car and starts clawing and biting at the windshield. Sister Daria, who's driving, says, "Oh no. Sister Maria, show him your cross." Sister Maria sighs, rolls down her window, leans out, and shouts, "Oi. You. Fuck off."
My favorite one, because I told it to my 5-year-old who would then tell it to literally everyone. It's a two-parter. Why did the chicken cross the road? To see the idiot. Usually leads to confused looks, then followed up with knock knock. Who's there? The chicken.
I just told this to my younger son and he said, "I don't get it." Then my older son said, "Looks like the chicken went to the right house."
Two guys are robbing a liquor store, and as they are clearing the shelves, the first guy goes, "Is this whiskey?" The second guy replies, "Sure, but not as whiskey as robbing a bank."
A guy sees an advertisement in a pet shop window, talking centipede 100 pounds. The guy goes in and buys it. He gets home, opens the box and asks the centipede if he wants to go for a beer. The centipede doesn't answer, so the guy closes the lid, convinced he's been swindled. 30 minutes later he decides to try again. He raises his voice and shouts, "Do you want to go for a beer?" The centipede pokes his head out of the box and says, "Pipe down. I heard you the first time. I'm putting on my shoes."
Dave was bragging to his boss one day, I know everyone there is to know. Just name someone, anyone, and I know them." Tired of his boasting, his boss called his bluff. "Okay, Dave, how about Tom Cruise?" "No dramas, boss. Tom and I are old friends, and I can prove it." So Dave and his boss fly out to Hollywood and knock on Tom Cruise's door, and Tom Cruise shouts, "Dave. What's happening? Great to see you. Come on in for a beer." Although impressed, Dave's boss is still skeptical. After they leave Cruise's house, he tells Dave that he thinks him knowing Cruise was just lucky. No, just name anyone else," Dave says. "President Obama," his boss quickly retorts. "Yup," Dave says, "old buddies, let's fly out to Washington," and off they go. At the White House, Obama spots Dave on the tour and motions him and his boss over, saying, "Dave, what a surprise, I was just on my way to a meeting, but you and your friend come on in and let's have a beer first and catch up." Well, the boss is very shaken by now but still not totally convinced. After they leave the White House grounds, he expresses his doubts to Dave, who again implores him to name anyone else. Pope Francis, his boss, replies. "Sure," says Dave. "I've known the Pope for years." So off they fly to Rome. Dave and his boss are assembled with the masses at the Vatican St. Peter's Square when Dave says, "This will never work. I can't catch the Pope's eye among all these people. Tell you what, I know all the guards, so let me just go upstairs and I'll come out on the balcony with the Pope." He disappears into the crowd headed towards the Vatican. Sure enough, half an hour later Dave emerges with the Pope on the balcony, but by the time Dave returns, he finds that his boss has had a heart attack and is surrounded by paramedics. Making his way to his boss's side, Dave asks him, "What happened?" His boss looks up and says, "It was the final straw. You and the Pope came out onto the balcony and the man next to me said, 'Who the fuck is that on the balcony with Dave?'"
Yesterday I got caught peeing in the pool. The lifeguard yelled at me so loudly I nearly fell in.
Homer, arguing with Patty and Selma, "Hey, everybody pees in the pool. Not from the diving board."
Two guys are walking their dogs. One guy says to the other guy, "We should stop in at the bar down there for a beer." His friend loves the idea but says that they won't get in with their dogs with them. The first dude says, "Follow my lead." They approach the bar. As the first man gets to the entrance, the bouncer is there who tells them plainly that he can't come in with the dog. The man, eyes closed, responds, "But this is my seeing eye dog." The bouncer grunts an okay and lets him in. The other guy sees it all play out and follows suit. He wanders over, eyes closed, and tries to go in. The bouncer says, "Okay, we don't allow dogs in here, so you'll have to leave." The guy responds, "But this is my seeing eye dog." The bouncer does a double take and says, "A chihuahua?" The man responds, "They gave me a fucking chihuahua?"